Here's a full ranked match as the Condition Specter. What's nice about Specter is you don't actually need to go for healing power to be able to support your allies. But it's very simple playstyle because all you gotta really do is press 3. The hard part is just knowing who and when to press it on them. So I start out in this team fight standing on the no port spot here because it allows me to use the Scepter Pistol 3 without going all over the place and going in danger. My Ellie is also doing the same thing with their Scepter, except they're doing damage. Now I'm just trying to focus heals on whoever's being hit because I give barrier to the right person, or they waste the barrier. So my heals are very specific to the situation. I can't just throw out heals because they won't get any value if the barrier doesn't get used. So yeah, it is difficult to try to time your heals rather than just spam like a typical support would. Now we've got to interrupt those to get the Shadow Step Stomp here to rally our allies. And this is actually a Deadly Arts build. So I am running Improvisation, which is going to allow me to do more of those playmaking, game-changing, fight-winning, plays. So we win that fight off of the kills and keeping our allies alive. Our comp actually does have 2 supports, so it is kind of a flexible build. The Specter can, if you already have a support on your team, you can play more aggressive. If you don't have any support, then you can start targeting your allies more. However, it's usually better to support your allies as the condition build, because whenever you give barrier, you're giving Rot Wall of Venom, which is gonna, whenever they hit, give out Torment. So generally it's more valuable to support allies, but if your allies are not hitting the target, then it's usually better to just do the damage to the target directly. So we're giving the quickness, regeneration, and barrier to our ally here, and have to avoid being focused at the same time. So all of my utilities there are for surviving, and then my Shroud gives off a lot of sustain here. I am getting focused by their Harbinger, but that's fine with me. And we get a nice Bassy Venom stun on the Rev to secure that kill. And I'm just going to cleave a short bow. My Bladesworn is actually going to go down. I go into Shroud and use the Fear to try to get them off. And I'm healing them with my Shroud still. And yeah, we're gonna get that kill. So I'm actually gonna stay on my Bladesworn here and try to support them with the heals and stuff because they're pretty squishy. So we've won that fight pretty much. Now I'm gonna look for a decap. They're already full capping far, so I really need to be going for this support on my ally here instead. And we're gonna get the res here because I get stealth, and we're gonna steal to, the steal gets blocked though. So I'm just gonna heal my necro up just a little bit, and giving them the torment is nice as long as they can hit targets. So I'm hitting the, I'm still hitting the support there. Okay, they go into S, so I'm gonna immediately rotate into the decap here. You can see that my team is losing mid. We don't really have too many duelists on this team, to be honest, but we do have 2 supports, so we are good at grouping up, not so good at splitting up. And I can split up, but I don't really want to be dueling. This is not really a duelist build as much as a hybrid support and roamer. And my support guardian here is kind of trying to hold the node in a 1v3, which is not going to go very well. So I'm trying to give them a little bit of peel here so they can get out. I give them the stealth so they can disengage, and we're going to survive this. So that's pretty good. Now our team is trying to 2v1 the enemy Bladesworn at home, and that's not going too well, but at this point, I think we want to go into mid, but we're getting constantly split up because they have a bunch of roamers and bruisers and duelists on their team, and we have a bunch of supports. So we need to stick together, and we got decapped at home again. So we're not having a good time with these splits, but we have to deal with it. I give a ton of barrier to my Ellie. but they get deleted instantly by, I'm not even sure what, might have been a grenade. But yeah, they go down. I'm forced to go into Shroud. I can't support them anymore, and we have to just disengage the situation because it is extremely dangerous. And I can just port around here, but I get Greatsword 5 by the Revenant and instantly die. So yeah, that is definitely a very strong ability. So we go down, there's 4 of them here. So we actually lost the team fight, which is bad for us, really bad for us, because that's our strength. So how are we going to get back into the match when we've just lost the team fight? So when I respawn, I'm going to probably head into mid. I am realizing that our Ellie is very squishy, so I'm going to put the focus target on them. There's a keybind for that. I put the focus target on them so I can easily target them later on using a keybind. And I'm going to give Bassy Venom to my Blade Sworn there. I see that my support Guardian has gone down again. We really need to kite when the enemy holds the node. There's no point in standing on the node like that. So I see that my Necro is really low. They actually disengage, which is nice, and we're going to get some barrier on them, but they're in Shroud. It's actually a core Necro, so they're in the core Shroud. My team is kind of in need of support here, so I go in Shroud and I land a big burst from my Shroud 4. Yeah, that's the hardest hitting ability. It is kind of hard to land, so you gotta usually land it with CC. And now I realize that bottom buff is up, and I'm actually late to getting there. So they get the top or the bottom buff, and we don't really have anyone on the map to decap either, because we don't split up much. So that was a pretty big misplay for me to not be aware of that when I needed to, maybe a couple seconds earlier. But we can still get kills at mid if our team focuses the target. My Guardian is really low, so I'm trying to give them a little bit of support here. They don't really give off too much hits. They're not really hitting things much, so my Torment is getting wasted by giving it to them. So I go and support my Blade Sworn over here instead, get this kill with them. Yeah, you can see the Shroud 4 there is very short range, so I missed it completely. So now we need to go for the kill on their Catalyst at mid, and we've actually died at far. Our Fresh Air Ellie is trying to play a Duelist, which is maybe not the wrong play, but not the best thing for their build to be doing. Top buff is up, and our core Necro actually fell down, or maybe they ported around. But yeah, we have to stall this, and I'm going to try to give them a little bit of support and try to focus their target. I get a nice fear, and they actually are forced to go down, so now we can probably go for the kill here. Yeah, my Fresh Air Ellie lands a really big burst, and then my Cluster Bomb just randomly comes in, and we get that kill. So I'm going to go for the decap at this point, because we're going to get the top buff, and actually if we get the top buff, that means we probably want to get the full cap here as well, because that'll give us a 6 cap. But I realize my Ellie is really low and getting 3-manned, and one person's trying to stop me anyways. So I go to support them and give them some barrier. I leave Shroud, which gives them a lot of barrier as well. And now we're just going to try to team fight with our team. We didn't get too much off of that top buff, but it's sort of even now, so we're in a good spot. Now we're just 4v2ing this, but we're losing home because all 5 players are here. Not the most ideal, and I'm just trying to pressure a decap here because I want my team to go into home and zerg that, and I don't want their team to regroup into mid. So what I do is I pretend like I'm gonna go decap, but then I'm gonna go home and pressure that. But they're actually getting full capped even though they're 2v1ing, so yeah, it's I guess I can go mid because I just saw one go below and try to stop that. So I prevent that with the Shadow Step, but I can't really hold a node by myself because I'm not a duelist, and I especially can't when I'm 1v3. So our team is going into far. I go for a little bit of a stealth combo here in my Black Powder with the Shroud abilities, and I'm just trying to stall here because our team is not getting too much value off of the current rotations. So maybe we need to do something different here. They do have one low, but I want to survive here, first of all, because their nade hollows on me. And I want to maybe support our Fresh Air Weaver, but they're doing fine. They're going to rotate out, and our Guardian's going to cap the node. I go for I'm actually going to be 1v2, so I'm just going to play a little bit safely. The Harbinger is just going to head into mid, though, and our Guardian is maybe going to be pressured by that. So, yeah, I do want to go help my Guardian, but at the same time, if I support them, then they're not really hitting things too often because they're a support. So, do I go for... Okay, actually my Bladesworn is here now, so that's actually good. I do want to give them support, but the enemy team is all here, and my Guardian is forced to go into their elite, and they stand still on the node, which is not ideal. We want them to kite when they have no cooldowns, so they're probably not going to survive here. I get CC'd trying to heal them, and they just insta-die because they're still standing on the node. So now we're in a 2v4, and I have to try to survive. I go into Shroud, and the Rev chases. I counter pressure them with my Shroud 4, which is some nice counter pressure, and I'm going to have to juke around here with some ports. The nade hollow is now on me, and I'm going to use my steel just to interrupt their hollow leap. My Bladesworn goes down in the process. So that's another thing about Specter is you kind of have to free cast to support your allies, and if I'm under pressure, then the only thing I can really do to support them is to go in Shroud. So when I'm out of Shroud like that, then it's not going to work out too well. So we're doing okay at home, and I realize that the Rev is trying to prevent me from getting the decap, so I'm just going for some kills on mid to support my allies. My Guardian is really low, but they are a support, so maybe I just want to go for the kill here. And our Fresh Air Ally gets the kill, so that's nice. And I am going to look around the back because the match is pretty close to finishing. We don't want to get decap. We need to really come back another 50 points here. So I'm just trying to prevent their warrior from pushing into our home again. And our Ellie's actually at far, and I really want to be there with them, but my team is rotating very slow. So I'm forced to take the 1v1 with their warrior because the match is so close to finishing. But bottom buff is up very soon, and that could decide the match too. So I've got some decisions to make. Do I go into far and help my Fresh Air Ellie, who's probably outnumbered? Or do I go to the bottom buff? Yeah, I don't want to go to the Ellie, right? Because they're already outnumbered. That's a bad rotation because that would just be evening that fight. So what I want to do is go to bottom and potentially get kills and outnumber this. And their Harbinger shows up, but our Bladesworn shows up. So we can potentially get some kills by supporting this Bladesworn, giving them some quickness, and hopefully get the bottom buff, and that can turn the fight. Our Ellie is doing a good job of surviving outnumbered. They're understanding the situation, and we get the S out of their Hollowsmith. And Bassy Venom's out. Now we're going to get a stun here on their Hollow, and that's a really good kill. So that Bassy Venom was pretty nice. We're going to have to blind these down states so that we can actually get these stomps here. And I'm going to... This is a Necro down state, so they're just going to channel that anyways. So we actually get the bottom buff, and we win. So if you like this kind of content, then like the video, subscribe, check out the links in the description, and I will see you all next time.